Hello, I'm Ronnie Eldridge. Welcome to Eldridge Company. I'm delighted that I have a co-host today, my good friend Blanche Cook, Distinguished Professor of History at CUNY's John Jay College and the Graduate Center. 5 Iraqi women have traveled across this country for the last few weeks, describing to Americans the terror and devastation they face every day. They are part of Code Pink's Women Say No to War campaign, calling for the end to the occupation and violence in Iraq and exhorting us to action. Dr. Rashad Zaydan, born and living in Baghdad, a pharmacist and founder of the Knowledge for Iraqi Women Society, and Faiza Al-Araji, civil engineer, mother of 3 boys, internet blogger. Welcome to you two. We're delighted, and to you, Blanche. Faiza, you don't live in Baghdad anymore. You want to tell us why?
Yeah.
Were you born in Baghdad?
Yeah, I was born in Baghdad, and I lived in Baghdad till 1976. When I got married, I graduated from the engineering college in Baghdad. Then I left to live in Jordan and Saudi Arabia, different countries. Then I went back to Baghdad at 1991 with my husband and my 3 boys. We lived in Baghdad during the sanction time and during the invasion of Iraq and after the war. And we decided to stay. As my colleague, she said, we decided to stay in Iraq. We said if we will leave and our neighbor will leave and the others will leave, who will stay on the land? This is our land. We will not leave it for the occupier. But you know, after the horrible condition of the bad security and after 1 year from the war, a gang came to rob my car. They put their guns in my face and they robbed my car. It was a horrible accident for me in that time. And in that moment, I faced the reality that Iraq now is destroyed and there is nobody protecting the civilian people. If you went to the occupation force to ask for help, he will tell you, it is not my business. If you went to the police, for the Iraqi police to ask for help, he will say, I can't help you, because he's powerless. He has no authority to help his people. So it was like a kind of dilemma. The people are living under the question, who is protecting Iraqi people? The occupation force and the new government are living in the green zone. They are protected in a way or another. But the civilians are in their houses, on their street. They have been attacked. They have been killed. Nobody protects them. In the last summer, my son was in his college. He's studying in the engineering college of Baghdad. He was moving in the street, in the college. In the morning, he is 22 years old. He was in his last year. When he faced the security man, new security man in the college, and he asked my son, what is your name, who are you? My son has beard on his face, so this is a big problem in Iraq now. It means you are terrorists. So with a short conversation with my son, the security man who is working for the Interior Ministry was angry. And he went and come again with a bag. He put it on the head of my face and he arrested him. He put the ties on his hands and put him in the pickup and took him for the prison in the Interior Ministry. You can imagine my life and the life of the family during 4 years, 4 days. We don't know where is the boy. I thought that he had been killed or shot in his head and thrown on the garbage. This is the new phenomena in Iraq, that the women, the mothers holding the pictures of their husbands and son, moving in the street, asking, where is my son, where is my husband? This is after the liberation of Iraq. This is what have we seen in Iraq. So we understand somebody helped him to call his dad, and he told him, Dad, I'm innocent, I'm in the prison of the Interior Ministry, please Dad, contact them, I'm innocent, they want money to release me. So we sent somebody to make a kind of negotiation, and we paid thousands of dollars. After 12 days, they released the boy, and we closed the house and we leave the country. So you can see, this is our family is a type of familiar story in Iraq now. There is thousands of Iraqi families who left the country after the horrible war, after the horrible security condition, after the kidnapping and killing for the members of the families, and now they are living in Jordan like refugees and waiting day after day to go back to Iraq. And you can see now how is the picture in Iraq.
Dr. Rashad, you're still there, right?
Yes, I'm still there.
And you have four children.
4 children, yes, 2 boys, 2 girls. The 2 boys, one of them finished the laser engineering college this year, and the second one is still a student in the second class of computer engineering. Two girls, one in the secondary school, and the small one, Miriam, just 9 years. She's in the intermediate school.
And you worry every time they go out of that?
Yes, every day, believe me, every day when they go to college, they say, goodbye, mother, maybe we'll not meet again. And this is very familiar. In Iraq, many families lost their children by this way. And the daughters, I take them to the school early in the morning, and they are just waiting all the day, praying for God to save them until I receive them from the school. You know, you have to leave everything, just you have to arrange your going and bringing your children from the school. And some schools has been bombed, and one of the accident, I was there, we were just trying to carry the bodies of the children from the school. So it's a daily picture seeing in Iraq after these 3 years of suffering. Still every day we are living in this state.
This is so unbearable, and we know so little about the daily reality in Iraq, and we know nothing about how life has changed.
Yes.
So, I mean, you were working as an engineer on things like water. We understand the water system was bombed, and
everything has been destroyed
and the
during
electricity
the war.
has not been restored.
The infrastructure of the country have been destroyed since the invasion of Iraq, and till now there is nothing for the improvement.
And the reconstruction isn't.
And there's no reconstruction.
There is no reconstruction.
So what are folks doing? I mean, you were talking at one point about there are no pharmaceuticals. You're a pharmacist.
Yes.
And
I was having my private pharmacy, and I has been habituated to go my pharmacy alone, driving my car, working in the pharmacy till 9 or 10 o'clock in the night, and returning back, driving my car to my house, and helping the people. But after just the invasion start, you know, it became not secure for any woman to drive her car, because the army are all the ways, and maybe you've been bombed or shoot, and many of families, of doctors, of scientists has been killed by the way. And then they say, oh, we are very sorry, it has been a mistake done. So by way or another, you will lose your life. So I closed my pharmacy, and I continue for 1 year just waiting. Maybe it will become better. They say just some month, we will just catch the previous president and everything will be okay. And we will just waiting. Then after 1 year, nothing changed. So I was just in that time starting to work for helping my community. Many of these medicines have become expired, you know, after 1 year. It has been not open. So I closed it. Immediately I closed it and sell something had been stayed and start working for a charity and relief projects to help the women in Iraq.
Now, the project that you work for, would you tell us about it? Because it's for women and widows and orphans. And
yes. In the beginning, just we arranged for the society's Knowledge for Iraqi Women's Society. We were arranging for helping the women and the small and the young girl. You know, there were no schools at that time in the beginning of the invasion. So many of them had been stay in houses, and they were in a very bad psychological case. So we say maybe if we arranging for courses for computer, for sewing, for teaching English, for making flowers, this will help to get them hope again. But just we started to work in this, we were hoping for a project for progressing, for giving them building capacity. But after that, we discovered that there are many much big problems to be looked after. It is the numbers of widows who are been increasing day by day in a frightened way. And they have, most of them, they were having no jobs. They were depending on their husband for life. And most of them, it is familiar for Iraqi family to have 5 or 6 children. Maybe of them have 9 to 10 children. And so suddenly this woman, she have no chance to go to work. Suddenly she found herself with nobody and with 9 or 6 children, and how she can behave. So we start to focusing on those part of women because they need more help. We start to make them projects for giving them courses, free courses for learning these things. And any one of them, for example, she want to buy a sewing machine, we buy her a machine, and she starts sewing for the people, at least to get some money for her family. Because many of them, because they have no money, they stop sending their children to the school. And this will after 2 years or 3 years, maybe we'll get millions of Iraqi people who are not educated, and this will make a problem. While we got a report from the UNICEF on 1983 saying that Iraq is empty from the illiterate people, and it's empty from diseases.
That Iraq in 1983 had 100% literacy.
Yes.
Zero illiteracy in
Yes.
1983. One of the most advanced countries,
In the Middle
really,
East.
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
Middle
Yeah.
East and in
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
Zero illiteracy.
Zero, and besides
Right.
this, for the women, because now I'm working also for women rights, not just for the human rights, for the women rights in Iraq, we were having 75% of the women who had finished college study. And we have 31% of the women who had been gone into the progress study, while in the progress country like US or the European, it was just 34.
Right.
So we were very near to reach these countries. We have been delayed for 50 or maybe 100 years. So we start helping them by way or another for those.
And what
records.
does the new Constitution do for women?
No, the Constitution we were saying let the past Constitution, because it was very good in the women rights. You have the right to work, you have the right to educated, you have the right to you have many rights, and all of it was comparing in one law for the whole woman. Now this Constitution say every woman, every participant, every sector have to go to their rule. You know, we will have at least 15 laws for the
For
women.
the different sexes.
So this Constitution essentially set up community by community regulations, and each group can
Yeah.
decide for itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some group that doesn't want women to be educated,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
if there is...
Yeah, it means it was like the family law in the past, controlling the status of the woman in the society, even if she's living in the main cities or in the what you call like rural or the farm
Yeah,
city, the
rural,
poor,
rural.
Yeah, rural. So it was controlling all the situation for the women all over Iraq. Now they separate it, like it depends on your community. You will have your rights. It depends on your community. For the religious man in that community, it means we will go to ask the backward sectarian man to ask him about my rights.
It is the religious person in the community.
Exactly, because
It's not the government.
Yeah, they put it like your guidance is your sectarian.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
So-
You're
so-
sectarian man. It means if I'm living in Baghdad, I will have good rights. If my colleague is living in a small city, she will
Right.
lose all her rights she have gained
Right.
since 1958 when we put that rule. 1958 it was the beginning of the
beginning, but-
establishment
but-
of
yes,
the Republic
but
of
the
Iraq.
correction exactly come after
You can see
1970.
they put Iraqi women to be backward, to be under the control of this backward religious sectarian men. And there is a speech for President Bush saying that Iraqi women are celebrating their freedom.
Yeah.
You can see what kind of liberation or freedom they give. They put the Iraqi women to be in the back, not in the front. We lost we are starting now
yes.
to lose our
Many of Iraqi
Right.
women.
rights.
Yes,
So,
many
and
of them
also
lost
going
jobs.
from a secular country,
We were living
You were a
in a
secular
secular
country,
country.
now
Now we
to
have
a
been changed
religious-
to be controlled by the religious leaders who put them in power. They came after the occupation and be
Yeah.
in power. They have been
and that
supported.
leads us to this question of impending civil war or actual civil war
Yeah.
that people are talking about. I mean, you did not have this kind of
For us,
ethnic
yes.
tension before.
Yes.
Who is
Oh.
behind this?
We want
How
to
is
say
this-
like as an example.
An
We
example.
usually said we are Iraqis.
Yeah.
This is the norm. But if I want to take the ugly division that they put after the occupation, that Russia is supposed to be Sunni and I'm supposed to be Shia. But we are very good friends. We are Iraqi.
Besides
The
that-
pain in our hearts is the same. Our country have been destroyed. Our people have been killed.
What's the difference between? Can we just say
What
it
is
in
the
2
difference?
minutes?
It's a very
Something-
small difference, and I'm telling all the time for us and Iraqi people, and for the religious Iraqi people, it is forbidden to speak. I am Sunni. I am Shia. You are not allowed in the religion to say
Exactly.
I'm from this side, or because no difference. It's a very small difference. It will not affect anything. Besides, all of the Iraqi people had been married together, from the husband
marriage,
Sunni
yeah.
and the wife
Right.
Shia and the opposite, and
Exactly.
all this family are living peacefully. So how can we imagine this family will go in a fight and the husband will kill his wife or something like that?
Yeah.
It is just a political case. It has no relation, no with the religion, no with the community of the Iraqi people, because they had been lived for 100 years with a good relation between them, Kurdish and Arab and Turkmen, Islam and Christian, Islam Sunni and Shia, no difference between them.
Was that the same when Saddam Hussein was there?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're living
but
together.
we politicized it because
Yeah.
he was a
We've
Sunni.
politicized it.
Yeah.
No.
Look. How
Yeah.
could they deal with the issue? When Bremer entered to Iraq, he put them up and he said he divided Iraq and he said this is Kurd, this is Sunni triangle, this is Shia. He divided the people.
That was Bremer.
And then he told the Shia and Kurd that Saddam Hussein was Sunni and he oppressed your people. So it is a political issue. It is not religious.
Suddenly been
Exactly.
this divisiveness.
It has been divided.
And they
yes.
provoke
Yes.
the Shia and Kurd against the Sunni. And they told them that this is your enemy, you have to fight them. How could I believe that? I believe that I am Iraqi, these people are Iraqis, they are my brothers and sisters. The dying or the destruction of their city, it doesn't mean I can't accept the idea that I will have shining future in Iraq if I'm killing these people.
Yeah.
But there is people who are ignorant, who are not educated, who are stupid, who are narrow-minded, accept the idea
Yes.
and put it in their
It's
mind.
like our Christian fundamentalists, really.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
fundamentalists everywhere.
yeah.
And
So-
it was a mistake saying that
Exactly.
Saddam
Right.
Hussein was Sunni and just helping the Sunnis.
And then
Many
there's-
of his government was
You can't put
Shi'i,
it
were
in. It
Kurdish,
was mixed.
and the list was
was
wanted
long.
for the 55%.
Yeah.
19 of them was Shi'i, and some of
Exactly.
them are Kurdish. So how just he's just not working for anybody of the Iraqi. He's just working for himself.
Yeah.
So he was not
So
differentiated
that
between
was
Sunni
the
and
beginning
Shi'i.
because they planted the culture of revenge,
Yes.
culture
Yes.
of hatred.
Yes.
Iraq now, if Iraq needs the culture of forgiveness.
Yes.
We need a leader like Nelson Mandela now in Iraq.
Yeah.
We don't need these sectarian backward leaders who are provoking and talking in the, it is, when I hear this speech, I feel my heart is full of pain.
Yeah.
Because they are liars, because they are pushing the people toward the wrong direction.
So you've
they are
come-
destroying the country for their own benefit.
The Women Say No to War
Yeah.
is a campaign. I think I've read that there are now over 2 million people who are signatures. They've kept moving it up. It's on the
Yeah.
internet. It goes
Yes,
all around to
yes.
all the world. You've come here to talk to Americans, to tell them
Yes.
what the war has done in Iraq.
Yes.
What's happened? I mean, what have you found?
In the beginning, we came from all types. We were Sunni, Shi'i, Kurdish,
Yeah.
Arabic, Christian. So this shows that the women in Iraq are looking for a peace, and they are not differentiated as they are different.
Right.
But the beautiful thing I see, when I was in Iraq and the invasion happened to my country, I was thinking that because the United States is a democratic country, so the whole people are agree for the war, so this army came to my country. But when I make all these visits to the States, I was surprised. Many of those people were against war, and they were saying no to war. They were saying yes to the peace. So it's a very good sign. I will return to my country and will tell my people that there are. It is the same message I came with it from Baghdad. Iraqi people say we have nothing with the American people. We are peaceful. We want to live in peace. But it has been misunderstood by a way or another. So I return back with the same message from the American people that many of them are like the peace. They are against the war, but it is the new democracy which we don't know before. This is the first time I see it. The people don't want, and it's done.
Right.
So I'll return, inshallah, with this message to my people.
Well, about 70% of the people don't want war.
But I just wanted to ask you, how do we handle this? What are you recommending that we do to end this war?
Yeah, this is the familiar question everywhere when we went to meet the people in the church or the university or different community. They will ask, what can we do to help you? So I think that it is the problem of the people in Iraq and America. We have to arrange something to start the movement to stop this war, to pull out the troops, to stop building the bases in Iraq, to stop this bad or wrong policy in Iraq. Because after 3 years, we can see we are both victims of this war, your nation and our nation. Your sons and daughters have been died, and our sons and daughters have been died.
Yeah.
Your money have been
Destroyed.
and
Yes.
our money have been destroyed
Yes.
for nothing.
Yes.
3 years for nothing.
Just a
And as I used to say, they not only destroyed the buildings and the streets and the infrastructure, they destroyed the hearts of Iraqi people.
exactly.
I think after 3 years, the Iraqi people have the right to evaluate this war. This war should not be evaluated in the White House.
Yeah.
This war should be evaluated from the Iraqi people who are unknown. victims of this war, who are from the civilian families, who are not from the government or the new parties, who are sitting in the green zone protected by the occupation. They are telling the world that this is liberation, we are agree, don't go out of Iraq, please stay. I can understand this, why they are asking, because it is their benefit.
Right. They have
if the
benefited.
occupation will be out of Iraq, these people will be out of Iraq.
Yeah.
Because they came with the occupation.
Yeah.
And they forced the Iraqi people to elect them.
These were the exiles.
Exactly. They are not the real representative of Iraqi people. So they have crisis. The problem, when you have an interview with one of them, they will die to tell you, please keep the occupation. Why? I understand why. Because it is their personal problem.
Yeah, while the majority, we are all the time with the majority of the Iraqi people.
They can't see the suffering of their people.
Yes,
they can't understand the dying and the bombing of the city, and the victims are died, the widows and the orphan we have, the people in prison. They will never listen. When we are talking about this issue, they are telling, you are exaggerating. Why am I go out? You are living in the green zone. Go out in the streets and see the suffering of your people.
Yes, this is the important point. When you are working on the ground and you are seeing the facts by your eyes, it differs from you here, or if you are living in a protected place, you cannot imagine what's happening. But for me, at least, I'm a member of my society. All the times, from the morning till the evening, we are working with those widows, and we are hearing the stories how they lost their breadwinner, and how she is suffering, and how those orphans are very. I have a kindergarten for some of those orphans of Fallujah. Some of them when came, they never want to speak with us. They all the time keep in the corner and continue crying or looking to us, because they are remembering how some of them lost the mother and the father and the whole family, because the house has been bombed.
This is the new generation of Iraq.
A new bomb. So after you try hard with them, and we have many of those children have been inhabited. He's just with one hand or with one leg. Our future is very dark. So this suffering has to be stopped. Some people had to try. It is not just as Faiza said, it is just not us suffering. Also the people here, we met many families, they had lost their children there. And many, many more, they are still children there, and they were very aware of them. I was saying to them, as I pray for God every day to save our children, we pray for saving your children. We are putting as a victims in this stupid war. It is stupid war. Nobody has thinking what will be the results. Just we remove. Yes, I'm very happy for removing the dictator regime. But what is the result? This occupation and this continuous suffering. At least. If you look from the vision of the majority of the Iraqi people, at least for us, the educated people who are working for the community, we were living our life. We were not going to take the authority from him or asking for the ministry or working in the policy. We have no disinterest. We are just working for ourselves and our community. So the majority, 23 million Iraqi people were living in this way. Right. So you now, after these 3 years,
we lost our life.
I think it's really important to realize that all of our viewers and all of us need to realize, Iraq is a very cultured, strong country with a great tradition. The archaeologists.
You can get your PhD for free. You can imagine.
And
the history.
Baghdad's a city like New York. Baghdad has no electricity. Baghdad has no water.
What kind of life?
You were working on water purification.
The damage is in every
and the contracts to restart the water.
And the contamination in the water. The contamination, the water and the soil after they in the war, depleted the uranium they used in the war.
Yeah, this is the most.
This is another story about the cancer for the
kids. I visited the hospital. It is a horrible.
So there's an explosion of cancer. We're talking about radioactive warfare.
Yes.
This is.
So what we're talking about is that there was a group of political people who were unhappy with Saddam, or whom Saddam really responded to.
We have met them yesterday. It was my pleasure to meet them, because I want to understand their mentality. What is their discourse? I want to hear it. Yesterday I hear it. And we discovered that these people are
This is a conference that you're all at.
Exactly. They have their own problem that Saddam Hussein killed some of them, family member. So they have their hatred against Iraq and Iraqis, and they are very happy. They are sitting in the green zone. They got the revenge of Saddam Hussein. Okay, we are against Saddam Hussein, but it doesn't mean that I will keep Iraqi people to pay for the revenge of these people. They are sick-minded people. They are sitting to say that thank you for the American people, you liberate Iraq. What kind of liberation? When I talk that Saddam Hussein in the past, he killed the Kurd, he killed the Shia, he put people in prison, he built massive graves. Now there is massive graves, there is prisoners, new prisons in Iraq, there is bombed cities, there is people who are running out of their cities, they bomb their houses, they are homeless. The same ugly action, but the media is covering in Iraq and outside of Iraq. The same story, the same crimes. So how could you, I agree that I will be sad for my people if I'm Kurd or I'm Shia, and will make myself like I can't hear, I can't see, I can ignore the new people who are dying in Iraq.
Right.
Yesterday we were talking about this issue. They said, no, there is nothing, everything is good. Oh my God. You can see
because they're living in what you call the green zone where they're protected. Right.
They just want
to
back
in power.
They just like to play the role of they are heroes. They suffered since Saddam Hussein, that the American people would clap them. This is the victims of Saddam Hussein. Give them the green card. Give them the citizenship. This is what they gain. They haven't even the Iraqi citizenship. You can imagine.
We have 1 minute.
Yeah.
What do we say?
Yes,
what do we say?
It is a brief message for the American people. We not hate you. We have nothing with you. We just came with a message of peace. We just want you to help us to stop this suffering for the both nations, and we will be grateful for any people, any organization, any society, any peacemaker will help in this, and the history will remember him in a good way.
For me, I'm a mother, and I'm talking for the American mothers. Like, I can understand that I have the youngest son of me. He is 19 years old. I can't imagine that he's just a kid. I can't imagine that I accept the idea. I will give him a gun to go to Iraq, sit on a tank to fight the people. He don't know anything about them. Somebody told him that they are terrorists, they are your enemy. It is the wrong message. Iraqis are peaceful people. Yeah. And we don't hate this country. We want to live in peace.
Blanche,
peaceful
goodbye.
People.
Peace.
Peaceful.
Peace for all of us.
We will fight for peace, and we'll put
we will follow your work by your website and your blog, and by codepink.org. We can see the latest activities of what's happening, and we hope that all of you will join in this effort for peace in the world and peace for families.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are any people you'd like to hear and topics you'd like us to explore, please let me know. You can write to me at CUNY TV, 365 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10016, or you can go to the website at cuny.tv and click on Contact Us. I look forward to hearing from you.